Good afternoon, one and all. Distinguished speaker of Dr. T.P. Sesikumar Ji, CEO and founder, Chairman, Shiksha, Department of Space, Deputy Director, Directorate General of Security, Secretariat, New Delhi, Director, UGC Academic Staff College, Calicut University. Esteemed participants, a hearty welcome. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Sesikumar Ji for accepting our invitation to a talk on how heritage empowers modern education. To the audience that he is actually in the midst of a busy schedule, how he agreed to our request to give a talk on the topic relevant to Indian knowledge systems, which is one of the emphasis points in National Education Policy 2020. IKS into higher education in our country, which has started in the recent times after 20. This enriches academic diversity, promotes cultural heritage, as the holistic learning process. Further, I also believe that IKS fosters critical innovation and deeper connection in India's rich intellectual. So I also believe that this ensures an all-round and inclusive educational. So many people say that we are following British education system, so values are. At the time, I think now we can look back and get a pride feeling of heritage. So coming to the internal quality assurance cell at SR University, series of talks on diverse topics with a focus on the stakeholders of HEI, which includes students, faculty, parents, alumni, employers. Felt the need to take a leading role in disseminating, in creating.
Recording in progress.
Where intellectual role of higher education institutions in nation building happens. The Government of India planning to implement the national education policy in a big, and also recently the accreditation agencies changing their evaluation pattern, visualize drastic changes in the landscape of education system in our countries. So for the current webinar, we have an overwhelming response with few other participants will be joining in the due course and across all parts of India. So it's now the time to invite my colleague and Dr. G. Ravikiran to present the speaker's biodata.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me take the privilege of introducing the speaker for today's webinar. Dr. T.P. Sesikumar is a man on mission to redefine the learning pattern in today's generation. He took birth in Nadavil, Kannur district, Kerala in 1964. He has many feathers in his hat with MSc, MPhil, PhD, LLB, MBA, MS. And he is an example of how an average student could transform into a knowledgeable man with a number of degrees. Dr. TPS worked as a scientist in space department for 2 decades since 1989. He was director of UGC Academic Staff College at Calicut University in Kerala and went on to serve as a deputy director at Directorate General of Security, Cabinet Secretariat, New Delhi, before taking a voluntary retirement in 2009. He also had short tenures as Professor of Management with JNU Hyderabad, as an Executive Director in an engineering college under Kannur University, and as a CSR educational consultant with the Shobha Developers. He served as serving as Chief Executive Officer and founder, International Institute for Advanced Academics, Soft Skills and Life Learning. And then he is also founder, World Social Craft Foundation, and chairman CEO Shiksha Gnanam, advisor All India Sustainable Development Council, director research at Global Foundation for Early Childhood Care Education and Research and National Foundation Teachers Institution. And then is also advisory board member or councillor at Yes You Can International UK. Bhagavad Gita is also Bhagavad Gita Acharya and advisor at World Yoga Community at the UN NGO Associate New York. He is also honorary international director at Vishwa Humanity International Royal Council. And recently, he started working as a professor of practice at IQAC University. And in fact, he is serving in many more positions. Apart from this, he has received several awards like ACFM Award, Vision 2020 Award, COVID Warrior Award, Manava Shrestha Puraskaram Kochi, Social Service Award Bhilai, Karma Shrestha Puraskaram for Kerala PTA on Education and Social Service. And he has also received a honorary doctorate in peace from Egyptian Ambassadors Academy. DrTPS conducts live unconferencing camps at his 200-year-old home, Gnanam in Naduvil, Kannur, Kerala, and builds values among the youth by leading as an example. Now his dream is to create good administrators for India. DrTPS' philosophy in life is flow like a river and grow like a tree. He enjoys the storm and fall in life, what we term as struggle. Like a fallen tree rising to the next day's sunrise. Keep growing in life, keep growing in your life, keep growing in your life. According to him, every moment is an opportunity, and not missing those opportunities is what gives success. And creating a lot of such success in life is the credit one must take into account. Sir, your presence adds immense value to our webinar, and we are excited to learn through your esteemed expertise. And I request you to take over and enlighten our audience. Sir.
Kiran, before I hand over the session to Shashikumar ji, few guidelines to the so they may post any of their queries in the Zoom, name and affiliation during the session. I think the esteemed speaker questions at the end of the webinar, and also I request the participants to will be given during the webinar session. So I repeat again, participants can post their the Zoom chat box. So now I invite the esteemed.
Namaskaram. Sahanavavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidyushavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Atnanatimidandasya Nananjana Shalagaya Chakshurunmidadam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishna Vedama. How much time we have, Professor Rajshekar?
Yes, sir. Ideally 1 hour.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Good enough. If you want, you can stop me at any time and ask me a few questions in case if it is there.
Sure, definitely.
We probably India started talking about the Indian heritage, Indian knowledge system. I like to see the faces of people who are attending, if possible. If you are not too ugly, don't show your face. Otherwise, nice to see the faces. Otherwise, it feels like I am talking to a computer. There are so many lectures of mine already available on Indian knowledge system, Indian heritage, Sanskrit knowledge, Sanskritam Day inauguration programs. So many are there. DrTPS Indian heritage, DrTPS Sanskritam Subhashitam, something you can talk. You can see in many of my general lectures also I keep discussing about Eastern philosophy, the philosophy DrTPS or mental health DrTPS, DrTPS, that's my name. My number is also there on display. take it down and send it to me also directly. Any query which you have at any point of time. One-to-one discussions also are welcome, or any comments on and indicating my mistakes are also welcome. Probably IKS is a new topic for many of the people, and timely government also have lot of push on this subject, and the new education policy also came into existence during this time, 2019. Fortunately or unfortunately, the chairman of ISRO, when I was in ISRO, happened to be the chairman of NEP, and I had opportunity to talk on many universities on new education policy. But generally I make fun of saying that there is nothing new, because just now what we said about what a informal education which new education policy propagates, and the concept of university has to be an overall knowledge about everything in same campus. That is how university system started in 1947 or before 1947 in India. But what had happened was, we started specialized universities. Women university separate, animal university separate, technological university separate, health university separate, agricultural university separate, and then we started interdisciplinary programs, and every university had or good universities or national university has a interdisciplinary center there. I was also part of interdisciplinary center in JNU. I was there for a month for a learning of multimedia in education, etc. And when I was a director for academic staff college. And when I was invited for giving new education policy lectures, I briefed what was the first education policy India had. And everybody, without mentioning that it is the first education policy, everybody said, including the thanksgiving for the organizer was mentioning, DrTPS briefly explained what new education policy is. But what I spoke was the India's first education policy. That means India's first education policy is not different from the new education policy. Fortunately, in 2015, we have got another big webinar content which came. You can see SDG. What is SDG? Anybody can tell? How popular is that? Just to know that.
Sustainable development.
Yeah, sustainable development growth. Luckily, Professor COVID gave a lot of opportunity for everybody to be online. And one of the best topic which everybody can speak was sustainable development growth. But I don't know how many people have really gone through the UNDP, United Nations Development Programs, which is the maybe 50 years old. You look at what is UNDP and what is SDG, there is nothing new. What happens to all of us is we keep renaming, looking at same thing again and again, redefining. Therefore, when I speak on SDG, lot of opportunities to speak on SDG. I was part of United Nations Development Programs. On the yoga community, I was an advisory board. I taught Bhagavad Gita in the United Nations Yoga community. So many people know me, so I started giving lectures on United Nations Development Programs, SDG. There also I keep saying it is not different from UNDP, because UNDP says education for everybody, SDG says good education for everybody. Does it mean that UNDP told bad education to be given? So these are some questions which I ask. I am not new to Indian knowledge system, because I started my lecture series on Indian scientific heritage, Indian knowledge system, learning slokas, giving slokas in early 2000. It's almost 24 years old. I had maybe slides which describes each branch of science, maths, physics, chemistry, biology, you name any subject, some contributions of India, and then started propagating the Indian knowledge system, taking cue from a stalwart in this world. He is no more now, Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan. He has written 40 books on Indian knowledge system. Most of them are in Malayalam, so my learning was in Malayalam. But it took long years for people to realize the importance of Indian knowledge system, and then now everybody speaks about it without even probably quoting a single Sanskrit sloka. People can speak about Indian knowledge system. That has become the politics of giving lectures, because you can copy from somewhere, use some knowledge here and there, and then do that. What is the basic relationship between this Indian knowledge system, the sustainable development growth, and the new education policy? Probably that will be what I will be doing, connecting all of them together to the best of my ability. The beginning what I was chanting was Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhidamastu Ma Vidyusha Vahai. That one sloka itself is good enough to give a lecture connecting all the three concepts of these, and then finish my lecture with 1 hour explanation. But my idea is not that. My idea is to give a spark, so that somebody once probably could connect me back at any point of time and ask for more and more explanations. Sahana Bhavatu. Let us have learning, eating, sitting together. And what for? Tejasvina Vadhidamastu Ma Vidyusha Vahai. Live in this world without any enmity to somebody else. Is it not sustainable development growth? The progress of the whole world, or the development of the whole world. I am using words very carefully. Assume any one of you are a good student or any good teacher probably should keep on writing technical words which I am using. When I say progress, write progress. Development, write development, so that you understand the difference between them. Why am I using two different words? We are now talking in an international language of English, and most of the people who learned the Vedic concept is from the English literature available. I am not that branch of a person who learned from English language, so I've got some problem in translating some of the words, because I was blessed to have a Vedic guru who is Brahmashri KPC Anujan Patadripad. In my early learning process in 2000, I met him. So it's almost 24 years. I followed him. He is no more in this world, but still I follow him, because I had got huge recorded versions of slokas which I keep listening again, trying to understand the inner meaning of that. What we say is the whole Bharatiya Sankalpa. When I say Bharat, it is not what Modi is ruling today. Bharat is a bigger land. The center of Bharat was Kailash. When I had been to Kailash with my guru, so that's a time when I started my questions and thought of, it's one-to-one question and answer. The Guru Parampara should be with one question and answer, that sort of a thing. That is why Upanishads are more famous than Vedas. Most of the knowledge is with Upanishads, not from Vedas. Vedas give a crisp. My guru was a Rigvedi. So all the Rigveda concepts he explains with one sloka. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, these are the three Vedas which are the core knowledge. When we talk about the Indian knowledge system, we should adhere, we should also root to these three. So the question is, why the three and what is the difference between all of them? Actually, the content wise, most of them are same. That means you have got Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda with the same content, same knowledge. What is the difference? The objective and scope is different. This class has got an Indian knowledge system, but when I give a 6 months program on Indian knowledge system, which I do under the Yoga University of Americas as a postgraduate diploma program, I am not giving that lecture to consolidated brief 1 hour lecture. So the objective and scope matters. In any education, objective and scope is very, very limited. Unless you understand that, you don't understand the whole essence of the lecture. So Veda has got a very specific essence wise a description given in the Rigveda. So if you look at new education policy which talks about the objective and scope of knowledge, which is already implemented in the Vedas. That is why I am connecting both in this way. So what is Rigveda? Rigveda is only short quotations, like one line. It doesn't look so interesting for people to read and understand. See, probably the quote which was given during the introduction was flow like a river, grow like a tree. That is the back cover of my book, which says life made simple, in which I wrote a book not to be read continuously. Any page can be opened and you get how much time for job and life. So one quote is there, one message. That one message is good enough, which probably I need expand it further and further, where I can connect to some stories, where I can write a poetry. So some concept which I explained in this book as a short note, when I wrote a poetry called Life of Love, we expanded it into a poetry. So if this can be called as a Rigveda, I don't call it as a Rigveda, but I remember one professor of linguistics from Delhi University, when I asked him to write a commentary on this, Professor Akavur Narayan, retired professor, wrote it that it is like a Tirukural. The Tirukural is the fourth Veda. For the Tamil people, it is Tirukural. So what he has written about my book on Life Made Simple is a modern Tirukural. That means this has got a lot of essence of life knowledge. I know it should not be written in the type of Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. It needs to be converted as a message which connects to our life of today. Those days it was written in that fashion where it is connecting to their life. So assume that you go back to the timings of the Rigveda written, probably it must be in the Satya Yuga. Because Satya Yuga was the time when people don't have a racism, you don't have to connect to people by society, every individual is enlightened by themselves, and they have to connect to not to the king, not to connect to the person who rules or enemy. There is no enemy actually, there is only nature. So if you take one example which is most common, but many people don't know that it is from the Rigveda. I think it is in the 62nd khanda, it is there. Om Bhurbhuvasvahat Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Hey son, you are enlightening the whole universe. Bhurbhuvasvaha, the whole earth and all the other layers. Avaha Pravaha Uddhastada Varibhurvagawaho, all the atmosphere you are enlightening, the space you are enlightening. Why you are not entering in me? Diyoyonaha prajotayat, get into me so that I will have the vision of seeing everything clearly. The same thing in a different style being mentioned as a prayer, which I don't know from where it is, but the prayer generally during the starting of this, what I chanted was Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara. So Brahma is my Guru. Who is Brahma? Brahma is not a god. Brahma is a concept. Brahma is what is creativity. Every researcher who is curious, who has got questions, the root word is quest. So the quest is the beginning for every creativity. So there is a God of creativity, not a God of creation. We have used most of the translation from English, therefore we call Brahma as the God of creation. No, Brahma is not the God of creation. Brahma is the God of creativity. And that is why the Brahma's wife happens to be Saraswati. I have lot of papers here. Actually, if the audience is too boring, no faces, probably I will look at the paper and then start giving lectures. That is why I have got plenty of them. PowerPoints are also there. Maybe hundreds of PowerPoints which I used maybe 20-30 years back. I stopped using it because when the PowerPoint is there, we get oriented by the PowerPoint. But when I look somebody's smile, I get oriented with my powerful points, which comes from my heart, which doesn't come from the screen. Right? So I want smile, I want nodding, I want somebody showing it, because that is the parampara in which I lived. My guru never gave lectures. My guru only answered questions. He says Rigveda is only boring. Actually, it's only one line. Okay. And one of the example which I will tell you. When my son, I feed the first Annaprashanam, the first food is given to my son, I keep talking to my son saying that, or I keep talking to God. If there is a concept of Ishvara, Sankalpa, we use the word God, but actually that is not the correct word to be used. That's why I am using the translations. Ishvara, Sankalpa, Murti, all that concept which we have. When I request him, Generally, the selfish people talk about my son also should have food for every 3 times or 5 times in a day. But Rigveda mantra doesn't tell that. The Rigveda mantra says, Shanno Dipadesham Chadushpade, Shanno Dipadesham Chadushpade. If all the 2-legged animals, Dipade, Chadushpade, all the 4-legged animal have sufficient food every to fill their tummy, let my son also have his food. See what a powerful thought is that. Tell me, is it not sustainable development? Is it not Indian knowledge system which is to be told today into every child's ear? But we only give food, but we don't chant this mantra. The Sankalpa is not there. Okay, the Sankalpa, all the chanting mantras, I happen to be very close to, or maybe took birth in a family where Ayurveda concept is very strong. I am from Kerala basically, and I am from an Ayurvedic family. My uncle happens to be an Ayurvedic Vishavaidya. Vishavaidya means he knows mantras to call the snake after having a snake bite. The snake will come and take the poison and then go back. That is what the belief is. Now I have not seen that, but I have seen a lot of other chanting mantra and then capturing spider and such things or all. I have seen with my own eyes. That's how we didn't have a playing item with plastic items. But we have, when we want a spider, I tell him that he will chant mantra, spider will come into his hand. So we played like that. So I have a book on parenting based on the Ayurveda. All these books are available. You can just send me a WhatsApp and probably I can post you these books. This is a book which is written for understanding the concept of pregnancy is the beginning of everything. The father and mother, what food they eat during the time of intercourse determines the basic physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual character of the baby. All the 5-fold development: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual. Now the science started understanding, yeah, this is true. But we have in our Purana Idihasas, I jumped from Rigveda to Purana Idihasas now. The Purana Idihasas describe such stories. We know the Arjuna's son Abhimanyu learned this during the pregnancy and all that. I've got a lot of examples wherein the pregnant woman, when they have real serious worries and tensions and such things, we keep them asking, maybe chanting Lalita Sahasranamam or Devi Mahatmyam. That made a lot of difference in their peace of mind. Therefore, the adrenaline, which develops a lot of chemistry in your body, which creates probably the acidity problems in you, which creates your eating pattern different, which make you to take a lot of medicines, create a lot of problem in the baby. So the basic concept of chanting mantra is not directly physically affecting you, but emotional influence on the physical body is understood. Sharira manaso yoga paraspara manuvrajet adhara atheya bhavena taptajya kadayoriva. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika talks about how the body and the mind is related. When the body is hot, if you put a metal vessel in which you put a hot oil, definitely the vessel also get heated up. When the mind becomes more worried, we are in a hurry, we eat more curry, definitely the body will have an influence and impact. Your breathing rate will automatically change. Your life depends on the mental ability than the physical ability most of the time. The mood matters. That is why we don't eat the same pattern every day. You go for a buffet dinner, I am sure everybody eats more than the normal food what they eat at home. Therefore, our body is such a flexible system where the mood, the mind, the entertainment, the jnana, the curiosity, the tension, all that matters. I am a psychotherapist from the Western science. I have got an MS in psychotherapy and counseling, but I am also having a responsibility of the mental care India, which is doing a lot of programs on the problems of the tension, worry, suicide and such attempts in India from age 3 to grade 7. The education system is to create social skill, interpersonal relationship, communication skill, and arithmetic ability, logical reasoning, mathematical ability, and all this. My last assignment with the KL University was a professor of mathematics. What I was teaching was actually a campus to corporate one paper. What is in that campus to corporate? I was in fact teaching arithmetical ability, logical reasoning, data analysis. These are all what is being done even for somebody who wanted to write a civil service exam, and during civil service all these are being asked. So I have got few students on civil service. You look at civil service prelims handbook, and that civil service prelims handbook will tell you how education has to be, where your communication skill becomes really good. I was with the Prime Minister's office in the Cabinet Secretariat. The highest IAS sit in the Cabinet Secretariat. I was in that office as Deputy Director. When Prime Minister gives you some order, you cannot ask him, tell me once again. Only once he will tell, we have to make actions ready. So how much ability you have to understand what he is communicating to you is more important. Communication skill. Now what is communication skill? Who is the Acharya for communication skill in India? Nobody knows. Most of the people don't know who is the Acharya for communication skill in India. But you ask a Yoga Acharya, who is a Yoga Acharya? Who got some certificate from some university, or maybe somebody learned yoga for a few days from here and there, and he will. You have got a lot of yoga acharyas in India now. It has become a tablet job. Everybody can take a 3 month job or 1 month job, start teaching. I went to one of the Ramakrishna Math here, where the yoga teacher was giving the pregnant woman the yoga abhyasa. That girl who was giving happened to be from Kerala, who is an Ayurvedic doctor who knows me. I was invited by the Swamiji there, but then I did not make a comment. But that day in my YouTube, I kept a video which says how to sit. How to sit is, asana is very important. Yogasana means asana, sitting. How to sit is being taught. You don't have to learn this from the yoga teachers. In my childhood, when I had to sit and eat, we never had a table. We have to sit on the floor. But I'm sure that was the tradition in the whole India. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, or maybe if you have to take today's boundary, we have to tell from Bengal to Gujarat, you can see people were sitting on wooden plank. And every person depends on their age, or probably depends on the height of their seat. Depends on the height of the seat and the age. They had different wooden plank. That means a Sukhasana is described by how much thickness you are keeping as a support for your seat while sitting, and cross-legged, so that you can sit for longer time. It's unfortunate that the yoga is being taught where you don't teach how to sit. I am from a Himalayan tradition. Swami Rama, Swami Vedabharati's disciple. We were taught 1 week how to sit on yogasana. 1 week. That is more important, because your whole health depends on, every program of every breathing depends on the style in which you sit. Now the position in which I am sitting now and giving lecture, without moving my body, I can sit for 48 hours. I have been sitting 48 hours sometime for giving lectures non-stop. It doesn't affect my body at all. I am not sick. DrTPS is not sick for last 40 years. Have a weighing machine, weigh me, I will be 60 kilograms, not 59, not 61. I am a calibrated life. So I am not talking about a theoretical class. I am talking about what I am living into. Why? Because I don't take any tension. My food habit is not, when there is a sufficient food I don't eat more, and then there is no food I don't take dinner at all, except that I am too tired. So what is to be done? You understand the basic life pattern, which should not be taught after 40 years. It has to be taught from the age 3. Why age 3? That is the time when you socialize. Up to age 3, the mother care happens. So that is why in psychology we consider the babyhood and child care. Early child care starts at age 3, and education starts at age 3. That is why new education policy says you should have a education which makes you a social animal, not for making a life. Probably engineering is a subject where I am earning money to get a job. But early childhood education should not be for making money. I don't have to ask a child what you have to become when they are in a KG class. What they have to become is a human being. We are all by birth a being, an individual, but we have not become a citizen. When we have a patriotism, I know my land is Himalayam Samarabhe Yavat Hindu Sarovaram Tam Devadarmidam Desham Hindustanam Prajakshade. That feeling comes to me that I am so lucky that I am in Bharat. And I am not a BTEC where I am following Mahatma Gandhi by quitting India, because sometime Mahatma Gandhi said to quit India. All BTEC are Mahatma Gandhi's followers. They quit India as soon as BTEC is over, right? So, as long as you don't, I was telling somebody else who was meeting the other day, the world president for Buddhism. I had a meeting 2 days back, and she is from Vancouver. So I was telling, I got an opportunity to come to Canada to do my after my PhD, my postdoc fellowship was given by the British Columbia University. I said, I don't want to quit India. I want to be in India. Today, probably I repent. I should have gone to Canada, right? Because most of the spiritual people go to America or Canada, then come back to India. They have more popular, right? I don't know, but what do you do with this popularity? In fact, my guru, Swami Rama, started from Chicago. You know, Vivekananda started from Chicago. Another, I am responsible for yoga community in United Nations, because there is a great guru. If you are not, you have to write down. I am anyway posting it on YouTube, but you can also look at it. Bua, the Swami's name is Bua. The Bua Swami, spelling I don't know, because he never wrote his name in English probably. He went to America much before people started calling him or becoming famous. Bua is not famous. He was a great man of ability to blow the conch for 20 minutes non-stop. He was called in many countries just to blow the conch. And he was a real yogi who knows how to control his breath, the breathing technique. The breathing technique is more important. That is pranayama. So he was a guru of pranayama. See, the pranayama is most important, not the way today being taught by somebody who can make a lot of money by one knows, the another knows 1,000 rupees and package 2,000 rupees. I will teach you how to breathe. And you start at the age of 60 breathing, definitely you will fall sick. Because I am not supposed to take the breathing practice of this in a polluted place. When I do this, actually the filtering of the air doesn't happen from the hair which is in my nose. I am pushing it inside. So the pollution goes inside. And then what happens? The guru will tell you, keep it with you, hold the breath. My guru, Vedic guru, Brahmasri KPC Arjun Bhattacharya says, how can you keep air because it doesn't belong to you? It has to flow like, you know, when the non-Newtonian fluids in physics, when I pour oil, even if I stop, it will go up. That is why the ghee is used for lighting lamp. The viscosity is high. So the breath has to be like a sine wave. It doesn't stop in the peak. It just flows immediately. Like Tailadhara Prana. That's called Tailadhara Prana. Tailadhara means like an oil, it should flow. Okay. Now what will happen if you hold the breath? Pranaya amena yuktena sarvaroga samaraha ayuktabhyasa yogena sarvaroga samudbhavaha. If you don't know how to breathe, you will have a lot of disease. Now you talk about education. Where is the relevance of this? I go to engineering colleges to give the orientation program, 3 days program. When I talk to most of the children, the first question what I ask is, how many of you are happy, how many of you are unhappy? 70% are unhappy joining in an engineering college the first day itself. Why? They wanted some other place, some other course, some other medical they tried, they didn't get. That is why you are in engineering. See, you are giving education to somebody who is unhappy in life. So what is to be done? You have to make them happy first. Education is not a process in making people to become unhappy. It is your choice. I learned mathematics because I had a choice of mathematics. I am so happy that I learned maths because any other subject I can relate to mathematics. You have to be a bachelor. What is bachelor? The word bachelor itself is highly Indian knowledge system has given the word bachelor. Brahmachari. We have got different stages in education. The first one, learning process is in Brahmacharyam. See how many people know that the BTech B, BSc B, BA B, BCom B, the common B came from the Indian education system, which is copied by the whole world. Bachelor, the word bachelor is Brahmacharyam. The Brahmacharyam and then Garhasthyam. Then we can start earning. The first learning, L-E-A-R-N, learn. After learning, the L board can be removed. Therefore, you can start earning. E-A-R-N, earn. L is not there. So the first learning, then earning. Brahmacharyam, then Garhasthyam. Then after that, what you should do? Then you should enjoy life. Garhasthyam is little bit difficult because you have to earn money, you have to make money, you have to develop, you have to make a house. All that is essential. Then you have a time when you wanted to relax. That is what is called what is it called? Brahmacharyam, Garhasthyam, and then what? Am I talking to the in a language where people understand? I want to check it. That's why I'm asking. What is the next step? Somebody. How do I know that you are hearing? You are listening? Some feedback. I want somebody to unmute and then tell me what is the next step. Brahmacharyam, Garhasthyam, Vanaprastham. Somebody has written Vanaprastham. Somebody can tell me what is Vanaprastham. Now having that word came, now tell me what is Vanaprastham. Come on, come on. Let us make it not a blah 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 lecture. No? I am basically a teacher. I am not a speaker. That's my problem. That is why I don't being invited in many places. What is Vanaprastham? Not searching for job. Vanaprastham is not searching for job. Somebody has written searching for job. No. Tell me what is Vanaprastham? Somebody. What you have heard? Many temple speakers, lot of priests here and there will keep describing Vanaprastham. What is Vanaprastham? I am sure Telugu Desham is one of the strongest spiritual religious place. Much higher and better than. No, it is not retirement. There is the Vanaprastham. There are two names. The words which are used there. I want that interpretation, the meaning, Sanskrit meaning, the Sanskrit translated into English or whatever language we are into. What is Vanaprastham? Yeah, that is what somebody has written. Vanam means forest. That's what I want. Actually, Vanam is not forest. Vanam is forest. But many people, this is what happens. Somebody translates Vanam is forest. Everybody uses that, and then because it is how it has been translated, it is wrong. Vanam is not forest. Vanam is forest. Sanskrit is such a language, a small difference will make a lot of difference in its meaning. The other day I went to one of those schools. It is not to go to forest. It is not to go to forest. Vanam is Gham. I am from Vanam department. Gham department. Vanam is Akasham. I am from space department. So which is DrTPS department? Gham department. What is Gham? Gham is space. How do you know Gham is space? Many people don't even remember this, but I will tell you a clue. This is a basic method of learning language. Sanskrit is a beautiful language. If you start understanding the meaning, it becomes so simple for you. What is Gham? Space. How do you know this? Everybody knows. Everybody knows Gham is space, but you don't know how you are using it every day. Su prefix is Sukham. Good space is called Sukham. Have you not used the word Sukham many times? So Sukham is what? Beautiful space, good space. What is bad space? Dukkham. So Dukkham is what? Bad space. So your space is Vanaprastham. You should create your space. That means you should have freedom. Get out of the family life. Have freedom. DrTPS is in freedom. I can do what I want. Not that my family is not around. But my family, my children have grown. They have their own path defined. They finished their brahmacharyam. And once the children finish their brahmacharyam, once they become their master, don't guide them. Your job is over. You have to become independent of your family life and then start exploring the world. That is where you should start traveling. But traveling is not to forest, traveling to understand the world around you. So, brahmacharyam, garhasthyam. See, most of the people now, we will say after retirement, what do people do? They keep traveling. They travel to different spiritual places, go to Europe. That is what is same. What is happening today is what was defined in the traditional knowledge system. It is nothing different. But the way in which you do may change. That's it. So, bachelor life, then family life, then free life. Then what? After Vanaprastham, you become tired. After 20 years of travel around, what do? You sit at home. And then people come to you. Now I have got my old house, 200-year-old house. I don't want to travel around all the places. Once in a while, I want to go and stay in my village. So when I go back to my village in Kerala, I don't want to idle my time. So what people will do? People will come and stay with me. And that is what is sannyasam. Sannyasam is what you do to educate somebody else in the advisory board. Now I am a professor of practices. I am not earning from what I am doing. When the message came from Rajshekhar, he told that no, Professor Rajshekhar was mentioning it doesn't have honorarium, as if I always ask money first. That is not my job at all. For last 24 years, for no lecture I have charged, including going to America and teaching Bhagavad Gita 6 months. While coming back, whatever donation which I got, I donated to a temple where I established. I am a Sthapati. I know how to construct temples. The hundi was filled with my money. You can look at 2019, 190803. You will see me as the Sthapati conducting program for constructing the temple. I name my videos, but today's video will be 240524. YYMMDD format. So I remember dates like this. 190803. That is the time the temple installation, the puja happened. And you can see a beautiful video. I also do my recording. I do editing of my videos. I'm a multimedia person. I have a book on multimedia. Right. So what I'm saying is children have to learn the lifestyle not after graduation, post-graduation. This is the time when the people in Vanaprastha must educate the young children. That was what was happening in our houses. Grandparents were our educators. I have to get education from my grandparent. The nuclear family, what has happened today? At home, there is no grandparent. What we do is the young parents like me and my wife, both are scientists in Department of Space. What had happened when we got our children, luckily my mother was there. My child's grandmother was there. But after some time, the grandmother was not there. What did I do? I put them into a crush in a nursery, LKG, UKG grade. Now today, that is the situation for most of the children. So what DrTPS did in the contribution of making new education policy, it is never going to get implemented. You told me in Warangal or in Hyderabad, I am living in Hyderabad, you are in Warangal. Tell me, is there a school which runs with the new education policy from nursery, LKG, UKG? Nothing has been changed on the ground. Policy came, Kasturi Rangan got his salary, he got his fame, Prime Minister got new education policy came, lot of people produced lot of kids saying new education policy kit, they will also make money out of it. Actually, new education policy in informal education. What is informal education? I will give one basic example. My grandmother or grandfather speaks to me, they will not stand and I will not sit. Actually, they will sit and children will stand beside them. Correct? See the school education in which all the children are sitting in small desk and bench and all that, and they are seeing what portion of the teacher. The teacher is roaming around. Where are they seeing? Actually, they will see only another part which should not be seen all the time. See, our basic education has a stupid method of kindergarten, nursery, LKG, UKG, all that. All kilograms have to be removed. So DrTPS started a Grandma Child Girl Shiksha Gurukulam concept. I don't know how many rich people who runs the school in this country have got guts. But I am running with the small institutions. West Bengal, I go and implement it there. Delhi, I go and implement it there. Go to Kerala. Next week, I am there in Kerala. This weekend, I am there in Karinagar to inaugurate a school. I am requesting the owner who has got at least 3-4 schools to implement Grandma Childcare Shiksha Gurukulam. What is Grandma Childcare Shiksha Gurukulam concept? Wherein I am making age 3, age 4, age 5, age 6, age 7, age 8, age 9, up to 6 years, age 3 to grade 3. All the children should sit together, communicate, only craft, arts, lot of activity based program in which they will learn how to interact with the different ages. That is what is social skill, which we in our childhood had this opportunity because I have a great family, grand family, lot of combined people staying together, my cousin brothers. Today's children doesn't have. So what is the impact? Impact is what you are seeing in the education now in the engineering colleges. They cannot sustain fighting with somebody else. When they fight with somebody else, they commit suicide. They are in love affair with somebody else. The next day they feel this fellow boycotted me, commit suicide. They don't have guts. The depression is more in the youth because they have not learned the social skill of fighting with the people. Every children have to fight. Up to 3 years, mother and father will give me whatever I want. From 4 years onwards, I have to fight and get what I want. And also I should know how to share with somebody else. So I have written 4 books. I am not saying something which I have not done. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. 4 books. The chapter itself is called the A to Z of Grandma Childcare Shiksha Gurukulam. This is teachers training manual. The teachers training manual is what is kept for educating the teachers how to run such a system. My service is free. Professor Rajashekar, my service is free. I go from schools to school. From here to airport, taxi fare is paid by me. They may sometime book my airfare, my accommodation and my food. I don't want to spend my pension for those things because I am not that rich. If I would have been rich or somebody sponsors me, I would have done that. What is required is, this is also for a guide for children to understand the psychology. Very small book which understands, parents and teachers can understand. When it comes to adolescence, the teenage problems, you must have a different psychological book. So this is what is navigating adolescence. Exactly what the Indian knowledge system talks about of the psychology. How do I know this? It is very simple. It is there in Ramayana. The first psychologist in India, the Bharat, not India, the Bharat. His father's name himself was Dasharatha, who got a treatment from the first psychologist. Anybody who has got a guess? During Ramayana period, who was Rama's mentor? In engineering college, we have mentors. What we do is, as per the attendance register, take somebody and allot to somebody else. That teacher himself may be a psychic patient. So what will happen to the students? They himself is depressed. So it doesn't help. Once upon a time, even the king has allotted his children to be mentored 18 days under his mentorship. And that great psychiatrist, the first book came from that psychiatrist during, not Vishwamitra. I am seeing all the messages coming. It is Vasishta. And that textbook of psychology is called Yoga Vasishtam. So all my books are based on the basic Ramayana concept. And basic Ramayana concept, it says, and those people who are interested at the higher age must read my book. This is called Mind Matters. The Mind Matters is some points which are to be understood. The 60 points are there. 60 points. It's all point wise. And this book is also reasonably a good volume of book which people can understand what is the psychological concept in the Indian traditional system. Purne manasi sampurnam. Purne manasi sampurnam. Everything in the world is as your mind is. This is what the great lesson given by Vasishtha to Rama. The essence of Yoga Vasishtam is in one sloka. I learned from Narayana Tapovana Swamikal. He is the man. You can look at Narayana Tapovana Swami. He is another one of my guru. Purne Manasi Sampurnam. Assume that when I come to Warangal, assume I come by railway train and then ask Professor Rajashekar has to give me a leather carpet from the railway station to SR University, then only I will come for a lecture. What will be the response of Professor Rajashekar? He'll say thank you, bye bye, I'll call somebody else who is at a cheaper person, right? This is the essence of Yoga Vasishta. It says it is very easy. All the places where I am walking, I want a leather carpet, give him a leather footwear. It is not that costly, right? Ask him, I am not going to give you a car, from the railway station you walk. This is the leather carpet given to you. It's very simple. Wherever I go, I want happiness. Wherever I go, I want success. What is to be done? Carry it with you. Anything which you want doesn't come from external, it is internalized. You understand the meaning of Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savidur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Enlighten me inside. If there is a lot of light outside, it doesn't make any sense. Guru Brahma, make me creative so that my words will become good. I become a hunter for knowledge. My curiosity will improve. Guru Vishnu, then action will come. The concept of Vishnu is God of action. The God of action will give me a lot of money. Money comes to me when there is an action. That is why Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. I've got one sloka book called Nitya Sloka. All the slokas which one has to chant from morning till evening at midnight before going to sleep. Chant these mantras which has got lot of scientific philosophical meaning. Each of these sloka is being taken and explained. Rare slokas, DrTPS. There are 90 blogs. One of the blog is rare slokas. Read it or send me a WhatsApp. I'll send you the links. Somebody is asking the full title of the book. There are many books which I am showing. So all the title showing itself will take time. So I am glancing through. You can always send it to me or look at my blog. You will get all the details. This one book recently I wrote with somebody who is from Azerbaijan. A psychologist from Azerbaijan, a professor of education, and me wrote together a book called Mindset Mastery. So understand, lot of lessons are from the Bharatiya Sankalpa, in which I have to get lot of knowledge. It's there everywhere in the world. Any one of you can collaborate with the whole world. I was thinking, COVID came 2019 when I returned back from America. Up to 20, I had lot of lectures on online because I was continuing my Bhagavad Gita teaching here. 20 March when COVID came, I thought, what do I do? Because every day I am traveling, 360 days I am traveling. What do I do? Immediately I started my online classes. The Facebook live programs, online classes, plenty of lectures. Professor COVID was a great gift for me. That's the time when I started writing, documenting my books. Otherwise, in 3 years, I cannot write 40 books. It was a great blessing for me to document what I did. That's why I could connect to somebody who is in United Kingdom, started giving lecture. Philippines, I have got MBA classes. And I found that the world is changing a lot. Why world is changing a lot? When I was director for Academic Staff College, I wrote a book called Adaptive Learning. Adaptive Learning. How do you become adapted to the education system in which you understand your child and then give answers to the questions? That was actually Upanishads. Question and answer. Interactive program was Upanishad. That's why Vedas are only 3. But Upanishads are hundreds and thousands. We lost many of them, so we don't know how many are there. I am not giving the number and the names because that's all available on the literature. I am giving something probably very unique which may not be available, and I am connecting all of them for you to seek knowledge at different places. Right? Otherwise, I can give you all this literature what I am speaking. I have all these are there with me. Now, what happens is this knowledge of creating anything which is adaptable to people is what is basic knowledge, which I wrote a book in 2005 along with one of my colleague who is in education, a professor, C. Nasima, and in which that Nane's principles of discovery, apprentice, deductive, inductive style of teaching was explained. We are talking in a system wherein Indian education system and the advanced or the modern or the probably the highest education system has to be inculcated in education. I am saying this book I wrote in which the multimedia teaching is essential. And this is what, when I become director of academic staff college, made compulsory in my academic staff college. Everybody creates a video program of his class and you can become an international teacher. ECE, Consortium for Educational Communication, CEC was the agency who was implementing it. And every 40 minutes of lecture was considered as a published paper for internal promotions in University Grants Commission. But what had happened? Nobody has accepted it. But COVID, what people did? Everybody became an online teacher. So some mishap has to happen to you to become acceptable to the technological changes which is happening. Education is the only business in which people did not change fast. Even today, going back to the board or whiteboard is what people do. You have not become so see, all my lectures in KL University in mathematics, I never used a PowerPoint. I was speaking, children were supposed to write. So my mathematics talk, they are able to convert it into facts and figures. My explanation of reading a question paper style, somebody is reading a question paper, that question paper contains maths, he can convert that into facts and figures and symbols inside, the mathematics is understood. And what children should do, they should take a picture and send it to me, that's my internal marks. And after every class, I conduct one test paper every day. After 50 minutes, one test paper. Test paper is not to test the students. If all of them fail, teacher is a failure. If one of them passes and the rest of them fail, he is a brilliant boy, but I am still a bad teacher. If 80% of my students passes, then I am qualified to become a teacher. This is basically the method in education system evaluation. This is what we call today implement the evaluation system by interactions, evaluation. That doesn't mean the students will give you marks and then say you are a good teacher or a bad teacher. No, that Nane's principle based on the basic Indian education system. Examination is a celebration. See, we have examination and test during when you go to a medical college, they will do examination of urine and test for your blood. I am testing their mathematics to know how much parameters they have. If they are not good, what should I do? Correct them and rectify them and make them good and make them 100%. But today education system may make people to pass. Everybody goes from grade 3 to grade 4, grade 5. They never learn. So when they reach engineering college or higher education, what is happening? We are getting a chronic diseased person who don't understand any subject. And therefore, our evaluation system has adjusted with the system. That is why we implemented flexible program in education. Everybody can skip the program, go wherever they want, come back and join. Was it not our traditional Indian knowledge system? I can see Pandavas and Kauravas were sitting in the same class. They were not of same age. They were of different ages. The Dharmaputra did not had in a different class and Arjuna was a different class. They all studied under same professor. Duryodhana was also in same class. But what had happened? The test happened. Arjuna got good marks. No, Duryodhana also got good marks. But what had happened? He did not become practical. Therefore, what is called pravritti nivritti. Pravritti is one which you have to be practically. The skill development was most essential. It is not the basic knowledge which is required. You should also have value system. If value system was not there, you have an intent for education, the content is there, the method is there, the practice is not there, the test is failed. Therefore, Arjuna practiced and he got it pass, but Duryodhana failed. And that is why Gandhari, the blind lady, actually these are all symbolic. The whole Pandava is our Panchendriya. All Kauravas are different bad negative habits which all of us have. And where Karna is the ego. The ego is what kills our Indriyas. The concept is what is to be understood. That's why I said the objective and scope of writing a Purana has to be understood. Purana Idihasa we call it as, Purana Idihasa in English we call it as mythology or mythology. Different pronunciation by different country. What is mythology? M-Y-T-H-O. mythology or mythology. What is mythology? Myth is a blind belief. What is ology? Ology is science. See, it is blind belief system plus science together is mythology. So it is nothing to be understood or nothing to be thrown away. It is to be really have that eye to understand it, then it becomes knowledge. Unless and until you understand it, that becomes a faith. So if somebody asks me, Dr. TPS, do you have faith in God? I say, no, I don't have faith in God. Hey, you are giving so many lectures in temples. Yes, I am giving lectures in temples. Without having faith in God, yeah, I don't have faith in God. I know God. I know God is different from, I know God is a much higher level than faith in God. I know this is a book. It is not that I believe this is a book, right? So how do I know that this is a book? The content is Raising of India by the Rays of India. Swami Vivekananda was a man who understood the knowledge. He understood. He did not have faith in God. He understood God. Therefore, the words which comes out from him becomes real quotations. And that has to be implemented every day. And how? You cannot take what Vivekananda said, what Gandhi said, what Veda said, what was in the Rigveda time, the Satya Yuga, cannot be implemented in Dwapara Yuga. The Satya Yuga was a clean state where nothing was, no problem was there, no fighting was there. In Treta Yuga, the next Yuga, what has happened? Two societies started fighting. That is why you have got the Rama, the divine people, the Sattvic people started fighting with the Rajasic people or the Tamasic people. So two different levels, two different cult, two different societies started fighting. Now you take the next level. Therefore, Ramayana cannot be implemented today. It has to be understood in the contextual meaning. Now come to the next level. What is the next level? The next level is where Dwapara Yuga. Between cousins, relatives only fighting happens. Why relatives started fighting? Because one father is blind and he is blind with the power and position. That is why the blind king represents each one of us with a great power and position. When we have a professorship, when we have a doctorship, when we have got a headship, when we become principal, director, we have great ego. And what will happen? Your wife will become associate to you, closing her eyes. Actually, she is the one who has to show you. You are blind. But she also became blind. See, what a pathetic situation. Do you think Vyasa was blind enough to write this? He has a great eye. This is what the present situation. We should interpret in such a fashion which is understood by students, not by chanting the slokas. And when Gandhari is totally blind, what will happen? Father and mother are blind. Today, what is that is happening? Both father and mother doesn't have time for the children. So Mahabharata has a relevance today. Both father and mother doesn't have time for children. What will happen? They will have company with unwanted people. They will go to Afghanistan company. Kandahar, Gandhar Naresh, Kandahar, Shakuni is from Gandhar Naresh. So what is Afghanistan company will do with the Indian kings? See, one story which is written in the Dwapara Yuga says, don't have company with Afghanistan people, your child will get spoiled. That is the message from Mahabharata. See the relevance even today, it's relevant, right? So Mahabharata is to be understood, Gita is to be understood in the context of Bhagavad Gita. Without understanding, you read only Bhagavad Gita, which is the center of Mahabharata, it will have a lot of enemies. Therefore, what Dr. TPS did is, this is my recent book, the latest book, The Gita Way, in which the wisdom guru Dr. TPS is discussing with an American student, a young girl who asked a lot of questions. So 108 questions. First it was put into, it's a beautiful book with a lot of discussions, only discussions. Lot of questions relating to today's world with the beautiful pictures in between. All cartoonized pictures. So this discussion will make people to attract to the old style Indian knowledge system being told, which will be acceptable to the teenage who are doing master's programs, who are doing education in the higher education. You have to tell them this is what it means. Otherwise, I cannot teach what the way Bhagavad Gita is being taught in the temples in my education system. So Indian knowledge system can be taught in the universities in a different pattern, different style. Taking care of, there is a big mistake which most of the speakers in education keep doing. I have not heard anybody else speaking. If you tell me, I will also listen to such lectures. Everybody keeps saying we are in the 21st century education. Correct or not? We are in which education? 21st century education. You tell me century means 100 years. I am a mathematician. Whenever I hear, I convert them into numbers. Tell me education is 100 years. Do you want to speak of education for 100 years or do you want to speak of education for 10 years minimum? I believe I should speak about education for 10 years. Now, that is why I wrote a book on 3-2-1 world. Life in 3-2-1 world. We are not living in 21st century. We are living in the third decade of 21st century. So you type DrTPS 3-2-1 world, you will end up in a meaning. If you just type in 3-2-1 world, they will give you some junk from the Google. Because there is nobody else defined 3-2-1 world. This is my coin. I have coined it 3-2-1 world. We are living in a fast moving world. Therefore, SDG cannot be sustainable development growth. Because sustainable development growth, what United Nations is giving, if really you want to understand, there are two series which came. I think it's in Netflix only. All of you should write down, listen to this or look at these two documentaries available. One is called Seaspiracy, S-E-A, conspiracy term. The spiracy is taken from the Seaspiracy, and the another one is Cowspiracy, which actually questioning the United Nations policies. It's a brave documentary maker who has questioned United Nations policies. It doesn't get implemented. But what is SDG for Indians, at least Bharatiya concept? Sustainable Development Goals. So for me, SDG in the Indian knowledge system, when I speak, if we don't do, who else will do? So it is Sustainable Development Goals. What is Sustainable Sanatana Dharma Goals? It is not Sustainable Development, it is Sanatana Dharma Goals. What is Sanatana Dharma goal? What is Sanatanam? Nitya Nutanam and Chirapurathanam together is called Sanatana. Nitya Nutanam. Even today that is relevant. That's what I have shown you from Mahabharata, Ramayana, Veda. That is what I have shown you from SDG and New Education Policy, how Indian knowledge system can be done together. So I believe the Sanatana is what is to be implemented, and Sanatana knowledge system is which can be implemented at any point of time, and it is already there in India. You don't have to implement it. But only thing, we have forgotten that. Therefore, we have to make our teachers very strong. Teachers teaching in the 3-2-1 world with all the wisdom which we have will make them to understand what sort of education we need so that the life becomes in harmony. Harmony with the self, harmony with the family, harmony with the self, so dharma. Harmony with the family, kudumba dharma. Family with the society, the societal dharma, the raja dharma, and the yuga dharma. In this yuga, I cannot implement what was implemented in the earlier. So don't try to implement what is told in Veda today. We will learn it in the IKS. Actually, it is stupid. No, it doesn't work. What I need is Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. My creativity inside me should go and then understand what is local to me, and my world is not this small, it is a global world. And Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Vasudeva Kudumbagam, all that can be implemented. When? Only Atnana Timirandasya, with having less knowledge, superficial knowledge, without understanding, without going to the root, people keep on making some knowledge and start spreading the knowledge as if they know everything. This is also in the sloka. Atnana Timirandasya. Atnanam, not having sufficient knowledge, is like Timiram. Timiram is cataract. Blurred vision. Oh, I know Indian knowledge system. I know Bharatam. I know the slokas. Oh, I know what is the other day event. The prayer was Shubham Kurutvam Kalyanam. I said it is wrong. Shubham Karodi Kalyanam. Even if you want to another version, Shubham, Gurutvam is okay, but not Gurutvam. Some famous singer which has got a follower of 1 lakh, finished. You copy it and then start playing in those schools. Nobody asked a question, is it correct or not? Why can't you Google and find out which is maximum, at least know which comes from authentic places, understand the meaning of it word by word. So we don't do that. So this is with the blurred vision. So the sloka where I chanted after the Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu is this. Ajnana timirandasya jnana anjana shalagaya. Give me a kajal which is like a knowledge. And that knowledge is Indian knowledge system. It's a kajal. That means while writing this sloka in India, we had that science which can give a kajal to a blind person or a cataract person to give him a vision. Otherwise, this sloka would not have been written during that time. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalagaya chakshurunmilidamena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Hey Guru, I salute you who has given me that knowledge. This is what exactly required. For which you need to have sankalpa, visualization ability. So most of the people who had knowledge, the Indian traditional Swamis, Sannyasis, all of them had escalated, probably I should use the word escalated, huge, large, infinite imagination. That imagination is what is lacking today. Therefore, India is not doing great in research. Probably universities are being burdened by saying you must produce papers. But what do you do with all the papers which doesn't have value? What do you do with all the dissertation being submitted by AICT 3 lakh people are genuine research being done by and everybody certifies that. If India had such genuine research, India would have been the most progressed country. No, we are actually fooling. So create an idea, create that idea into a creative visual system, visualize it and then learn it and try to propagate to as many people as you can. That culture of learning is there. There will be a lot of debates. That is why we have in our Shastram, Tarka Shastram. Tarka Shastram is always try to oppose your speaker. Yukti yuktam upadeyam vachanam balakadabi anyatranamavatyajam apyuktam brahmakadabi. Even a small child comes and says you are wrong, any acharya is supposed to listen to him and tell me the logic behind it. If the small child is able to give a logic, accept him and surrender to him. Why Shankaracharya has surrendered to a Chandala? Why Shankaracharya surrendered to a Chandala? Why we are learning that story? Look at Shankaracharya, DrTPS. Look at Ramana Maharshi, DrTPS. I am teaching all the scriptures. Why am I listening to them and learning from them? To understand, when somebody comes and tells me there is a logic, even if I have got doctorates, even I have got a master's from a great university, I am the disciple of so and so, doesn't matter. Listen to somebody, ask him logic. Yukti yuktam upadeyam. Yukti is more important. Why are we still learning London Bridge is falling down? Why somebody did not ask the question when it was falling down 200 years, why it is still falling down? Why it has not fallen down? Where is London Bridge? Somebody should ask. Look at London Bridge, DrTPS. You will see a reason for that. London Bridge is not in London. It has been taken by Americans. Before it was falling down, it was shifted. But now teachers will teach the same thing without even understanding. They don't ask this question. Because the questioning is not there. In KG onwards, we told children, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. The maximum words which are used in the normal young children's classroom is keep quiet. You tell me, no child want to keep quiet. Now that is why when I go to different places, when I ask somebody, ask a question, they will tell you no questions at all. Because they were asked not to ask questions. Why not to ask questions? Because you have no answers. So what is Gurukula Sampradayam? The actual Sampradayam is, that is why DrTPS have got the concept of Shiksha Gurukulam. Shiksha is knowledge. My house name is Jnanam. Jnaanam. Type in DrTPS on Google Map. You will see 3 houses. And all these 3 houses are open for anybody who want to learn. Come and stay with me. Understand, ask questions, debate. And that's why I call it as unconferencing. We have only conference. I am saying unconferencing. Don't come to a conclusion. Let us fight and understand. Let us separate. Let us not become together. Let us go away in different places. That's why you will see in Bharatiya Shastram, it is not a classroom. Everybody need not to put in same class. Let us have in the world as the class. Experiencing life skill. Decision making ability. When you are in problem, don't guide. We have got lot of tuition centers. Lot of tuition centers, coaching centers, crash course. Look at it. Crash course. Look at it. I think it is in Amazon Prime or Netflix. Crash course and Kota Factory. And Telugu movie, Pressure Cooker. If you have not seen the movie, see the movie Pressure Cooker. I am a movie maker. DrTPS films. I am into movies. I make movies, I direct movies, I act in movies. What happens is we are not looking at what is around us. Get into a overall learning. Don't think that I am a mathematician, I cannot learn English. My English classes may be much better than my mathematics classes. See, there is a logic. Around every subject there is a logic. The Buddha was a man who left his home to learn. Therefore he became famous. Shankaracharya left his home. He became famous. See, what is our tradition says? The Guru tradition says, don't get restricted to your houses. I am a traveler. Every day I keep traveling. Last week, 2 days I was there in Delhi, but because of the election problems, I was supposed to disconnect it from there, disrupted my classes. I came. That's why I am free today. Otherwise, Professor Rajshekhar called me. I said I am not free today. But because of the election, I was supposed to close my classes early, and day after tomorrow I am there in Karimnagar in the morning, evening I am in Ludhiana. Every day keep on traveling. When you travel, you get a lot of knowledge. We understand India. Then I go to Kerala, then to Calcutta. We have to go through at least India, no? You go to DrTPS Everest. After seeing Unchai movie, don't say Unchai movie is great. Amitabh Bachchan has done a great acting. Immediately your intention should be, let me also go there and experience it. Seeing the movie is not to say that bye bye, very good, movie is over. No, experiment. Experiencing is knowledge. Sakshad Anubhavair Drushto Na Sruto Na Guru Darshidaha Lokanam Upakaraya Etat Sarvam Pradarshidam. Great chemist, great health scientist from Andhra Pradesh. Let me know who writes that or who tell me that who is that scientist. 13th century probably. In his name there is a university in the Andhra Pradesh. Tell me who is that. He wrote this in the Rasavarna Kalpam, Rasarvama Kalpam, Rasavarna Samuchayam. These are all his textbook in Indian knowledge system. Nagarjuna wrote this. He told how much to be paid to a lab technician, how much to be paid to the owner of the, and he was a great scientist, Nagarjuna. That is why you see Nagarjuna Fertilizer, Nagarjuna Medical College, Nagarjuna University. No, Nagarjuna Mutton Shop and Barber Shop. Correct? So, I am sure we still respect people with their contribution. Bharat is such a place where knowledge is our power. We have to get it. And we should create such a knowledge system, have to have a great Gurukula Sampradayam, which will make the whole people. Many people wanted to go and settle in all the places across the globe. But my intention is not that. I am so happy when people from 46 different countries come and stay with me. And when I am being called for lectures in different places across the globe, and I create teachers around the world. When somebody from London wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita and listen to me, and when I am able to make in a church in America with all 6 Indian languages to have their Sunday sermon with all Indian prayers, I feel that is something which I am contributing to Indian knowledge system. It is not defining what India should do. We have got, every one of us have to be having that courage. And why we should learn this? Because the other world, across the world, people are learning. When an Indian goes, you cannot tell that I don't know who is Srinivasa Ramanujam. I have to know who is Srinivasa Ramanujam. I must know who are the greatest scientists of India. I am not naming all the great scientists and then talking about all the rishis. because I know I'm not talking to such a community, but I'm sure I can quote Parahimihira, I can quote all those people, and if there are specific questions, each subject wise, I can give exact slokas. Probably not in the whole knowledge system is ours, I am not saying, but I can still say I am from Kerala, where we have got Sridhara who invented pi, or who not invented, who defined the pi value, right? So you look at pi DrTPS, you will see some lectures. So many very scientific contributions in different metal, ore, sulfur, and during medical sciences, the quadratic principle, sine, cos, what is the health system, the body heat, tissues, Vrikshayurvedam, photoplasm, photosynthesis, plant sciences, hailstorming, the grafting of plants, the theorems of diameter of circle, area of circle, volume of sphere, the quadratic equations, different theorems, Euler's theorem, the parallels which we have, meridian, geography, prime meridian, the definition of Vimana, the ecliptic equator, the central Greenwich meridian which was going through the center of India, the Yuga concept, the proof for rotation of Earth, the atmosphere, above the earth, apogee, perigee, vertical quadrant, all these lokas I can give you. The Rahu, Ketu, astrology, astrophysics. I myself is an astrologer. I myself is a Stapatya Veda, therefore Vastu is part of it. I know how to define atom, velocity, temperature differences, the sunrise, 7 colors, pradikshina requirement, why people have to go to temple. For all of them, wherever the scientific explanations are possible, I have done sufficient enough. Not 1 year, 2 years, or the IKS came. I am doing it for last 24 years. Very rarely I get an opportunity from universities like this. I am so happy that by mistake Professor Rajshekhar has landed upon my video and then gave me a chance of talking to the great university SR, wherein I came 2019-2021 for a subject of design thinking. One of the topic which 2 times I gave seminar for the FDP program was design thinking. That is the most modern technological subject, and that subject my students are studying in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where under me they have done projects. Today only I gave some of the students to go recommendation letter to Max Planck Institute and Munich Informatics Universities and all that. They value what DrTPS is writing because they know what am I doing, right? I am staying in Hyderabad once in a while. After 365 days, 5 days I am in Hyderabad. Rest of the days I go around the different places for lectures. So thank you, thanks a lot. God bless you. If I am of some help to any one of you, I am at your service. My telephone number is there. You could send me a WhatsApp. Type DrTPS. My name itself is a beautiful name. DR, doctorate is in mathematics. TPS, I stands for teachers, parents and students. This is what I do. Okay. So thank you. God bless you. I think I spoke almost an hour with the introduction being, the introduction being 12 minutes. I spoke 1 hour 15 minutes. Thank you.
That was really a wonderful lecture, sir. Very energetic. I say spellbound lecture. The kind of books you have written and the kind of service you are doing in India and across the world is really amazing. Like with people like you training faculty, teachers, students, I am definitely sure that well before 2047 India can become a developed country, because we are good in numbers, but we need people who can train, guide the human resources in a nice and perfect way. I also believe that all the participants had a refreshing experience, which is quite different from the regular boring lectures in their discipline. I can see the comments in the chat box that they are very responsive and active during the session.
This shows they are kind. They are kind to me. That's it.
You have really connected the Sustainable Development Goals, National Education Policy, UNDP goals to our Indian knowledge systems, mostly connected to the Vedas. So this kind of a connection is really we are expecting to be implemented right from the school level as well. And also from the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata, what is exactly needed for our current education system and what role the faculty has in implementing the new education policy was also clearly explained through illustrations, examples. So the session is now open for questions. I do have around 2 to 3 questions which I wanted to ask the right person, and I found you in this session. So let's first take the questions asked by the participants. I can see one question. Most of the queries posted were asking for the book details. Sir, you were showing several books that you have written. So participants wanted to get the list of the books. Probably they want to handpick and then purchase, read. That would be a really great service. Then there is one interesting question from one participant. Thank you very much for the session. I appreciate your efforts and services done so far for the benefit of society. I feel happy for the opportunity to meet you. I have one query regarding Grandma Gurukula Siksha Kendram. Any special programs like summer camps in this Kendram? As I am a mother of 4 and 9-year-old children. That's one question I can see from the chat box.
See, Grandma Childcare Shiksha Gurukulam got inaugurated in one of the big Venu Pragati resorts in Hyderabad. But during the time the COVID came and we had to stop. But after that, what I did was documenting, writing, conducting lot of seminars, webinars. But it is nothing new for me because in 2005 I started a school in Kerala which is under the same similar pattern. You can see Grandma Childcare DrTPS. You will see a lot of videos, the inauguration of that school, which is in 2005-2007 during that time. Then there was another addition to that. You cannot educate parents. One of the biggest problem is, I keep saying we have all private schools, private colleges satisfying parents. Government schools and government colleges satisfy the teachers. But actually there are no institution which satisfies students. The institution is for students, but nothing satisfies students. So I thought it should become an informal. So what do I do is the existing nursery, LKG, UKG, pre-primary schools. Now I am going to Sri Lanka in July. From Nepal and Kathmandu, Bhutan, people are coming to India during June. I am going to Calcutta. So I conduct a lot of teachers training programs. Kerala, it is there on 31st May and 1st June. If somebody wanted to come, you can come along with me on 30th. I am traveling from 29th. I am traveling from Hyderabad. 3 days, 4 days, I will have an interaction with the teachers, parents, students, and different youth people, where I don't have trust and belief in tuitions. So same facility which is running a primary, lower primary school, also will have an after school program. After school program is BTech, MTech, even MBA, MBBS, +2 failed or pass. Anybody can come there. They can also mix with these young children. Look at all the available resources in the YouTube and all the internet sources. Try to make this happen in the classroom and teach the young children, which is like a family gathering during a marriage. You cannot have this every day, but you can do it like a summer camp or whatever she is calling, or she or he, whoever is asking. I wanted to have such summer program. If somebody can arrange 20 people who are ready, I will make them a 100 people gathering with their parents, grandparents, friends, all of them together. Do some 3-4 days of program. That's what I am going to Kerala now. It's a very informal program. Informal program, the program doesn't start as I reach. Actually, I started giving a lot of assignments. And all that assignments will be look at internet, find out what you can do, which can be shown to some children. So it will be like during a marriage, when you come, the grandfather will talk to the young children, they will play around. Correct. I will make one some items which can be shown to my child. It will become thrilling. Somebody else will come here. It's like not a communication. It's like a conversational learning. I will give a lot of assignments which children can cut and paste, and children can cut all the newspapers and put it into different albums, and then make album of all the politicians, all the advertisements in separate. That's all learning. I went to America to teach, conduct a similar camp. It is called a Shiksha camp. You can look at Columbus Shiksha camp. You will see 150 children, 3 camps under me. You will see young children also, without saying, keeping quiet, they will come and then equally, ideally sit in their normal place so silently. It's like a silence master being taught. I am from a Himalayan tradition, silence. I am not shouting at my children, keep quiet. I am a sample in which I will keep quiet. My children will look at me and they will also keep quiet. Understood? This is a great different style of teaching. And once they are with that for some time, they realize, oh, this is how I have to behave in my class. And I see, where do I use Indian knowledge system? I've got a North Pole and South Pole. A metal is to be put, I wanted to have a North Pole and South Pole. What do I do is I put a ball here and put Rama and Ravana, and inside that there is a metal, bar metal, with the North Pole and South Pole, and Sita is with the North Pole, Rama is with the South Pole. Automatically when Rama comes to closer, they will get attracted. Whereas when Ravana comes, Sita turns back. See, I am using my mythological story Ramayana to teach a North Pole and South Pole in my classroom. See, I use the modern science and use the mythological concept like a story. When I show this, I am not showing one. I am making my teachers, making the elder people, elder parents, all of them to understand. I can also create such stories, create something. So I don't believe in duplicating the syllabus and making everybody to do the same thing. I will do one workshop not to continue the same thing. Make my teachers, parents, everybody creative, students also creative, so they can do wonders. This is what I do. Look at craft DrTPS, art DrTPS, dance DrTPS, song DrTPS, cooking DrTPS, tree climbing DrTPS. You will see at least one video in this. Mathematics, trigonometry, one difficult subject. Now today after this I have got a discussion with one ECE student who wanted to know after +1, +2, after 3rd semester what project she can do, where she has to go specialization. So every day I am into conversation with a lot of students. I know what the students require because I am not working in an institute. I am working around the globe with different people around. So Grandma Child Care is a very flexible education system where we have a role for teachers, we have a role for parents, and we have a role for all of them to learn something new in Indian system, where I have a university where I can give you graduation, post-graduation diplomas. So it's a learning center for all ages, which is a tuition center or maybe coaching center, creative learning center for many people, which I call it as after school program. And your nursery, LKG, UKG become a feeder center for one of the biggest school in the neighboring places, so that young children don't have to travel 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers to reach those schools. So I believe every mother who has got one child can start a Grandma Child Care Shiksha Gurukulam in their house. I will come there for a week and teach you what to do and how to make it into a business. I am an MBA, so I make people how to make a business also, right? So my job is to create business for people, entrepreneurs for people. So many people started to schools like this. You will see when I went to last time into Bangla, my last video on my YouTube, last or 1 or 2 earlier, one small video is there. When what I did was, the Tinkle Tinkle Little Star, I asked them to translate into Bangla and teach in the classroom. They did it, beautifully translated. I gave only 10 minutes to teachers. 4 teachers, asked them sit down and then start translating. They translated, sang it. I posted that. And Telugu I do it because I am there in the Mirsu Mirsu Agashamlu. That's how I translate. Malayalam I do it because I am a Keralite. Mindum Mindum Tarakame. Telugu I can do, Kannada I can do, Tamil I can do, Bangla I can do, Gujarati I can do, because I live it in all these places. So language learning is one which every child has to learn. Any city, nearby city, I'm sure today children can learn 5 languages. My guarantee is in 1 month time they will learn 5 languages. I can teach all of you in 2 minutes at least a few words which you can talk to any South Indian people, or maybe Hindi also. Here, all of you can repeat internally, or if you can come to video and repeat, I'll be very happy. Here, there, where. Here, there, where. Ikkade, akkade, ekkade. Ibide, avide, evide. Inge, ange, enge. Illi, alli, elli. Idhar, udhar, kidhar. If you know these 3 words, you can talk to anybody in the world. Yeah, I want a hotel. When I go to a city, what I want is hotel to eat, right? Hotel is English, everybody understands. Hotel ekkade. They will tell me akkade. Hotel illi, hotel enge, hotel evide, hotel kidhar. They will say udhar or idhar. Finished. You learned it. You can survive in this world if you know here, there, were. What I did was when I went to America, I told all the people, your children, all of them have complained. My children doesn't know my mother tongue. I was trying for teaching this for last 10 years. They did not. I said 3 days. All of them will learn their mother tongue. Do you think I know Kashmiri? No, I don't know. But I made sure the parents will teach them with vigor and interest in 3 days. What I did was, I told all the parents during a Sunday, Wednesday, the reporter from best newspapers will come. I am going to keep a white table there. And those people who can write in different Indian languages will write few, their name, parents' name, grandparents' name, the place where they come from on the board. If your children want to be on the newspaper picture, teach them at home. 3 days, all of them learned their mother tongue. So what is lacking is objective and scope. So if objective and scope is defined, create objective and scope very, very immediate scope. I am sure you can make children to learn many things. Your KG children can learn periodic table because nursery rhymes periodic table. You can see beautiful songs. Before partition of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra, I wrote a Telugu song. Telugu districts, DrTPS. You will see in my camp where BTech students are singing that song. Tirupati unnada Chitturilo. That's how I started. I belong to Malkajgiri by Rangareddy is the district. By Rangareddy is a circumambulating around the Hyderabad. Rangareddy district was there. The geography is very bad of Rangareddy district. So I made a song saying Rangareddy Kadupilo Bhagyanagaramu. Right. So you should have that interest in learning. I am sure your interest in learning is what is required to become a teacher, a parent, and students will learn. This is what I am doing. Yeah. I am at your service. If you want me, you tell me. Whenever I am free, I will be with you, or travel with me to different places to learn what I am doing. That's also welcome.
Wonderful, sir. One more question by Dr. M. Vijay Bharati.
Yeah.
Can you please explain about self-actualization?
See, we have got Maslow's principle in the MBA classes we learn. Minimum requirement is food, kappada, makan, we say, right? So once the minimum requirement, Maslow's principle, you look at it. So minimum requirement is already there. What is next one? I want security. I want some company. The emotional requirements will be satisfied. After emotional requirement, what you want? I want intellectually. I want to get a degree. I want to get recognition. I want a power position. Everything will come. After that, what you want? Now you ask DrTPS what he wants. I am waiting for death. I have got what I want in my life. I have no intention to make money because both my children settled. My wife is much richer than me. I have got 3-4 houses, 2 in Hyderabad, 2 in Kerala, and 3 in Kerala. Why do I require? Whenever I go any place, I don't require to do anything. You see the best hotels I stay when I go. I have enjoyed all my life. So what do I require now? I want something to make my life which is peaceful, happy, passion, enjoying, full time in bliss. All of us are hunting for temporary happiness. Instead of temporary happiness, you want a permanent happiness when you are doing it very cool, very calm. When a mother is making dosha, she is enjoying making the dosha. When I am cooking, you can see I am enjoying cooking. When I am driving, I am enjoying driving. Look at driving DrTPS. I am driving in America. So I enjoy driving there also. I enjoy driving at every place. So when I am enjoying every bit of my life, what I achieved is self-actualization. That is actually what is called samadhi. Kena kena prakarena yasya kasyapi dehinah sandosham janayat prajna tadevam ishvara pujanam. Now, see, there is a great saying, when I am insecure, many people are insecure in this world. My job will go, my wife will go, my kids will go. What do I do if somebody is not with me? That insecurity feeling will make you not to work. Secured people don't have to work. Correct. Insecure people don't work. Secured people don't have to work. So I keep redefining that saying. Secured people should find those insecure people around you to help them. And that is what is self-actualization. When I do something for somebody else, a smile in their face is good enough for me to find happiness in me. When I went to Kailash, I was eating my sandwich. A dog was coming and looking at me. It needs this bread. I am really starving. My question is whether I should eat this or look at the dog. I gave it the dog. It was so happy running because it doesn't get any food there. So once it got its food, I was so happy seeing it. My Madhya Pradesh is not filled, but I don't worry. My Uttar Pradesh is filled, my heart is filled, is good for me. So giving is what is required. If you have that habit of giving, I am sure you will start enjoying. So you will come to a level in which knowledge is not, I don't care. If somebody wants, you can take it. Most of my books are downloadable from my website. The Rhythm of Life, another poetry book. This is available on my website. You can download it. Only when I have not printed it large scale, somebody did not sponsor, I have to print it when there is an order. Probably the printing charge is what I have. The book which says this, the Gita way, it is not printed by me, the printed by the student. So the money is being sent to them because they have spent the money on that. Right? So I don't require anything. See, when you are in a place where you don't require anything, you are a sthita prajna. You are in the bhava of self-actualization, realization, samadhi. Different words are being used. Dukkeshu anudiknamana, sukheshu vikataspruha, vida raga bhaya krodha, sthitadir muniruchyate. Bhagavad Gita, I think second chapter 23rd or 24th sloka, it says that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me present my questions.
Yeah.
Before you. As far as I understand, my perception about the Indian knowledge systems, which have come from experimenting the way of leading life for so many years. That's to put it in a simplest way. That's, I think, one of the ways of understanding the Indian knowledge system. So now, with the educational landscape, the requirements have dramatically changed over years. Now, how can we incorporate IKS into the totally, not the conventional, but technology-based educational system? How can we incorporate? Like we have readily yoga being incorporated into our educational system. That's one way we see widely prevailing, almost right from school level also. But what are the other elements that from our Indian knowledge systems like yoga, which can be incorporated into maybe the engineering or any other technology-based education system?
Now, I started, but I stopped it in between saying, now when you say yoga, what is being done in the yogasana is not yoga. Who is the yogacharya where people start praying when they do yoga? Patanjali. Correct? What is the first sloka they chant? Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya kavaityakena. What does it mean? Yogena chittasya. When you say yoga is being implemented, and you chant the sloka which says, Patanjali, I salute you for contributing the yoga. What is being implemented today is a wrong yoga. It is not Patanjali's yoga at all, because Patanjali's yoga is not yogasana. The Patanjali says yogena chittasya, that is for only for the mind purification. Mind purification was, that is by yama, non-violence, niyama, self-discipline, and yogasanam, little bit of asana is there. Then yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. 8 steps of yoga is what is yoga. Doing yogasana in this book of Rhythm of Life, I wrote a poetry which says, in which millipede yoga, everybody is standing in a line, you take a picture, it looks like a millipede standing. Look at yoga, DrTPS. I am making fun of yogasana, not monkey's job. So what happened today in the IKS, we have implemented part by part without understanding the holistic objective and scope. In IKS, we start teaching what is there. The Shusuda has used this, knowing that it doesn't make any sense. So your question is, not the content is to be understood, the process is what is to be understood. How did they make this realization of understanding the whole universe to the small atom without even having an electron microscope? The ability to visualize was given to all the students. Are we able to give that visualization power? When you chant this mantra, yogena chittasya padena vaja, communication skill, padena vaja means I should have the ability to be a good communicator is the meaning. Are we giving that communication skill as part of yogasana? So implementing it in patches will not make real meaning. And then yopa karottam paramam muninam Patanjalim Pratnaridhadarosmi. So I salute you, A. Patanjali, who malam sharirasya ja vaidyakena, who cleaned my body. So it is more important to have a body concept, physical, emotional, intellectual level. You get a communication skill fit. So all the 3 was what is given. Then you can become a social and spiritual being. So what happened was we started implementing the Iyengar yoga, which is the modern yoga, which was only a gymnastics in the Mysore palace, and then start propagating it as yogasana and many acharyas. Therefore, you look at India's happiness index, we are very poor. That is because we implement a hatch patch, but not the full one. What is essentially required today in education is create a real rigorous learning program from the root Indian knowledge. That is what Indian knowledge system should do. Until and otherwise, it is good to popularize. Now popularization is happening because political leaders propagate it. Once in a month we have got celebration. Now assume, I told you, you have got annual day, sports day, annual day, and all that cultural day we have. Actually the cultural day wherein lot of students will come and then act a drama. Lot of students will come on the stage, they will sing a song. It was not to demonstrate like a show. When I have to have a combined music with the group music, I will start interacting with a lot of students of different ages, so that during my childhood when we have drama, we pick up a lot of people from different classes so that we mix with them. But today if you see, the song is group song, all the same class students will sing a song. That was not the aim of annual day. Annual day was a place where people will mix each other. What has lost is the content is lost, the concept is lost, but we do for namesake. India has to stop this business of doing something, we call it as ritualistic job, right? Just like that we do it. Don't do it just like that. Do it with sincerity, do it with understanding. I could have taken a lot of slides and then put all of them. In fact, I have got slides with me on my laptop now. I can actually go through that in a different style, but my intention is not that. What comes in my mind during this process which I am becoming creative, I will become a unique person who is talking in this style. So every knowledge, Indian knowledge was to make children unique, keep their own creativity, image has to be built by each one of us. That is why Acharya doesn't teach. Acharya only will do what he wants. People will follow him. Yadyada janati srashta tatta deveyatarojana sayat pramanam gurude lokastadanuvartade. All that lecture was given by Krishna. Krishna did not tell Arjuna, listen to me, do it the way I am saying. Krishna told, do the way you want to do it. Get as much knowledge as you want from everyone if you want. Decide what you want to do by yourself. What a great method is that. So Indian knowledge system is not to be implemented in classrooms. It should not be in university level. It should not be in colleges. There should not be one place. There has to be a Gurukulam, a center. Like ISRO doesn't do projects with one center. ISRO pulls all the resources from different center and make one project as one activity. So if SR University wanted to implement IKS, I suggest you should have a place. You need somebody who is an Acharya and who can pull resource from some different people. I keep saying, why are we giving lot of Padma, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, and what are these elderly people wasting their money and time? You should pull all of them and put in a university like Nalanda and ask them to share whatever wisdom they had. Actually, they are enjoying with the money of Indian government. Useless. No contribution. Once upon a time they have done. They have gone to all the MPs, take a signature. I was there in Prime Minister's office. I know how the Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri is given. Not now with some, at least there is some genuine people getting. And all these are actually, we are giving awards to those people who don't contribute anything. Many people, I get a lot of messages saying that you should come for today. Just before this lecture, somebody called me to go off for giving an award. I said, what do I do with your award? I have to spend money to keep it in my almara. You have to give money for making almara also. Otherwise, I am not going to get it. I said, actually, it's waste. See, the time DrTPS Margayato, every item what I have in my almara, people will throw it in the dustbin. Correct? So we are wasting time by giving awards, giving recognition. It doesn't have value. What is required is, I have got genuinely 10 students with me who will take care of me in my life. When I travel, they will ask which flight you are going. They upgrade me to the next level. When I go to Bombay, they will ask which hotel you are there. That's not the hostel, but my guru has to stay. They will book a hotel for me. So I've got genuine children. They will look after me wherever I travel. Correct. I have to tell that Goa I am going. They will ask which date you are going. They will give me tickets. Because I have contributed, I have touched their life, made a difference in them. They are earning much. They will say they are earning much because I have contributed in their life. What else you require in life? So you don't give degrees, awards. Yeah, it is required. That's why I am also part of a university. But genuinely you need at least a few people who understands knowledge system, curiosity. You can have clubs of curiosity club. You can have clubs of Indian knowledge system where you don't have to run an academic program. That's what I believe. They should question what is being done around with a lot of advertisements, whether it is really the way it has to happen, and then give a genuine reason for correcting it. That is what I am doing. When I am criticizing, I am not doing to demolish it. I am saying it is good to advertise, but we need a genuine knowledge with some people. Otherwise, yoga would not be in our place, right? So we need to know. See, when somebody in a temple is chanting, Pranavana Vyanodana Samana Veshudyandam, Jyotiraham Vraja Vibatpa Bhuya Sangha Swaha, Patmanachakshu Srotragana Jikhwarido Buddhya Sankalpa Veshudyandam. Somebody chanted it non-stop for millions of years. That is why I am able to learn this now. After learning, I should understand meaning, understand everything. That knowledge system we should, the educated people like we are all in the higher education system, let us analyze the meaning of each one of them and then try to teach the next generation so that the essence will be kept there. Otherwise, we will lose this. That is the only thing the IKS should do. Not to implement it in our computer, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. Better to learn architecture, which we have. I don't know how many people know that the oldest dam which is still operational, serving water in the whole world is in India. That is in Tamil Nadu. The step well system which we have, the oldest of the oldest, is in the North India, Gujarat, Rajasthan and all that we can see. And the best construction methodology which we have used with the best weapons in the world. You can see in Ajanta Ellora. The best palaces in India, the best mental system in India. We had, with the naked eye, we have shown atoms to children. Yojananam sahasre dveshade dveja yojane ekena nimishardhena kramamana namastude. When I chant this while taking bath, I am defining velocity of light. Sahasre dveshade dveja yojane ekena nimishardhena kramamana namastude. The distance and time is given. Ekena nimishardhena. 1 nimisha, half of that is 0.14 second. 2202 yojana multiplied by 12.11 kilometer. You will get velocity of light. Langayam, oh Udayoyo Langayam, so Astubaye. The geography was known when it is Udayam, morning in Langa, Astamayam. Why? When you go to temple, they will chant mantra. Jambudyube, Bharadagande, Bharada. Every temple you can listen this. This is actually geography. Meroha Dakshine Parshve, the south of. The geography is being mentioned and the time is also given. The space and time is a concept in physics and geography. If you understand, you understood the whole geography and physics in this world. Correct? So, people have to understand I can give examples like this. Spectrometer I can give. Navottara Shadatmakam Tamo Bheda Pradarshakam Dvatrimsha Samyuktam. 32 spare parts are there which splits light into different pieces. That is what is Dantopramabhagam Yandram. The Sanskrit name for spectrometer is Dantopramabhagam Yandram. Navottara Shadatmakam. 109th equipment in the Amshubodhini textbook. So 109th equipment means there are another 108. So we had a dictionary of missions. It's full of mechanical engineering. But don't tell whether we can recreate it. We can recreate. But there is no purpose because we have got a spectrometer came much better and simpler than that. So we don't have to do it. I don't have to teach Vedic mathematics. That has become a style. Actually, Vedic mathematics is not required. Those days it was required. Today I can do much faster and better. I will tell you another method. But still, as a fashion, we are continuing. It is good. But don't think that they are day-to-day affair. No. Okay. So there is a limited scope, but we have to redefine the objective and scope in the process, methodology, objective and scope, the logic and critical thinking. All these ability we should get into the learning system today. That's what is required.
One final question, sir.
Yeah.
Part of it you have already addressed, I believe.
Yeah.
But with the advent of artificial intelligence and the attention span of the students going down, what must be the role of the current generation teachers?
The other day, I went to Delhi to a school. I was showing 10 fingers like this and then telling them, I will tell only once. Don't write it down, but you will by heart my number. And immediately only once I told, I asked them, they all repeated. Our brain is still active, but the problem is, I think I don't have to learn spelling because dictionary is inbuilt in my typing machine. Even if I make a mistake, my teacher don't reduce my marks because they also have doubt whether spelling is same or not. Correct. I will tell you the A plus in all subject was given to somebody. I was asked to give certificates and I asked somebody who got A plus in English also what is the spelling of circle. SIRKLE. And if you write SIRKLE also you get A plus in all subjects. This has become today's education. Understood? So what is the role of teacher? I was a teacher in engineering college. I never took attendance. I told them I was teaching environment science, physics, maths, computer science, mechanical engineering, and I was a professor of MBA. Signal processing, because image processing is my subject in Department of Space. And I was teaching all this. What do? When I teach, I will tell like this only. I will keep on talking to them. And I ask them keep on writing, taking notes and making notes. This is what the assignment I do. I will send you some of the notes which my children and teachers have sent when I went to that last Sunday. Last Monday, Tuesday, I was there in school. All teachers and students asked them keep on writing. Here also I told you should write. Taking notes has to be the habit. All the teachers should not give notes. You should ask students to take notes while hearing lectures. then the knowledge goes through their eyes, ears and hand. That means through the body once it is moving. Earlier traditional Bharatiya teaching system was students are supposed to write, and that is how Upanishads came. Why so many Upanishads? Every student made their own version of Upanishads. And every student write their own notes. What do I do generally? I ask them to take a picture and send it to me. That's their internal marks. What will happen? Every student will start writing. When they write, they learn. And after that, I may give an assignment, make a beautiful note of today's lecture once it is over. If somebody has to make a brief note about this, they should have already taken note. Otherwise, they cannot write because I am doing blah 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 blah, right? Different topic, different places. They can connect all of them together only when they have taken note. And taking note and making note. This is what I teach in UPSC also. Every student who prepare for civil service, UPSC, DrTPS, I've got a lot of students for UPSC. So what do I do them? When I give lecture, I'll ask them to take notes. That's what when Prime Minister talks to somebody, they have to take note. A paper reporter is able to take note. When I was Department of Space, before Combined Defense Services came, I was the first secretary of the committee. When the meeting happens, I was with the Director General of Security, that is actually RAW, RNW. So I worked with the Prime Minister's office. When the meeting happens with all the people, immediately after the meeting, I will make the minutes and get the signature. Because if I come back to Hyderabad from Delhi to get the signature on those days, I have to send all these by post, it will take another 2 weeks. By the time the lunch is over, minutes are ready because I type it, print it, take signature and finish. There itself distribution is over. That's how I worked. So making note, taking note, writing, that's why I am able to write books. If anybody of you want to write books on any subject, I will be at your service. Make a rough draft and send it to me. We will sit together and finish that. Your PhD thesis. In how many subjects I made people to write PhD theses? Indian knowledge system, you want to have a PhD from Yoga University of Americas, work with me for 1.5 years. I'll give you a PhD in Indian knowledge system, Indian scientific heritage, Indian management system. All this can be done. So you have to have that habit of what I am. See, while sitting, what is my courage? My courage is these notes, what I have prepared and then kept beside me. I am waiting for somebody to ask me a question where I don't have an answer. When I was talking to my guru, all this is my courage. Wherever I go for lectures, I take this note. Anything anybody asks, I can answer from this book. Only cover is changed. The content is almost 20 years old. All the Veda, Upanishad, everything is there here. Bhagavad Gita is also there. I keep on taking notes. And I also make small notes, keeping it at all the slokas here. If my flight is delayed, my train is delayed, I've got some time in my pocket diary, I keep this and keep chanting. Learning is important. So I must ask all the teachers and students to work together. Not with a lot of, I believe that when I teach a group of students, I am their servant because from their fees only I am getting salary. I am not their master. I am their servant. I work along with my students as a servant of them. Serving them is my job. That's what I do. With this bhavana, teachers to teach. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sir, if you permit me, one last question from a participant.
Yeah.
What's your opinion about open book system? Or what strategies one has to follow?
See, open book system is like a Google query also. I told you every day I used to give 10 questions to my university where I was working. 10 questions, 5 questions as it is copied from Google. Okay, 5 questions I create myself which is much simpler than these 5 questions. I found all of them will answer these difficult question which I copied from Google. Whereas the simple question which I give they cannot answer. So people have become copycats. Unless you are a creative teacher who can make questions, open book is not a problem. Even if it is open book or not, doesn't work. I believe that you should have an education examination system in which, like we have melas, we have lot of stall. We should have a mathematics stall, You should have a chemistry stall, physics stall, electronic stall, in which you see the throwing ball and all will be there, no, in the stall when you have got jatra and all that. So similarly, make children to do what they learned in engineering. Erwin Krasik book talks about the maths and physics and the way it is applied in engineering. Applied engineering physics, applied engineering mathematics. Erwin Krasik. I was teaching engineering college mathematics in 1986. 1986, I was there in Bangalore, Vishwesvaraya College of Engineering teaching. So your test method has to be different. Best method to make your students, after my classes, generally what do I do is, I will make my student to prepare question paper and send it to me. If anybody can prepare question paper from a chapter which I taught, they have learned the subject. It is easy to answer the questions which I create, but it is very hard to prepare questions which are not existing in the Google. If any textbook, if I give to somebody and ask them, take their all electronics items separate, give one chapter, study this in the classroom, questions which are not there in the last part of the chapter, there will be questions. Other than that, you prepare 10 questions have to be the assignment. Take those questions and distribute to some other student. This is what I implemented in some of the teaching classes. Swap the questions. From one student you give to the other student, from this student you give to the other student. Make them to circulate the questions throughout the class. Let somebody's answer sheet be evaluated. Answer should be written and then that evaluation should also be given to students. Let students evaluate their answer sheets. So a good student who is writing an examination will understand, oh, this is how I should write. Every day let them write examination and practice. And a day will come, the student will ask, sir, give me questions, I will answer. They will come and ask you for examination. They will enjoy examination. Examination should be a celebration. Look at DrTPS, exam, study, as a blog it is there. 30 points to students, 20 points to parents and teachers. That 20 points to students, 30 points to students and 20 points to teachers in the engineering colleges. I want every teacher and student should play with the question paper in the exam. They must enjoy. That is why I have written a lot of examinations. I am LLB, MBA, MS, all these because I loved sitting in exam hall and writing exams. It's a great entertainment for me. Even now, when I was teaching MBA, when my students are writing exam, in my seat I used to write examination for my children are writing exam. As a teacher I used to do that. By the time students will come, I will give the answer sheet and tell, look at it, this is what I have done. They will tell this is out of syllabus. No, I have written, then why you cannot write, I will say. I challenge all the teachers to write examination when the students are also writing exam. That's what is to be done.
That's so wonderful, sir. Now it's the time to propose vote of thanks. On behalf of management, faculty of SR University, I thank the esteemed speaker for his valuable insights, time, and more importantly, mentoring the audience, where most of the audience are from faculty background, teaching background, and some students are also there. We are all really indebted to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of the audience as well, I would like to thank you for sparing your time, sharing your valuable insights. We are really fortunate to have you during these 4 hours. Wonderful insights. Thank you so much. My pranams.